Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, boy, if this POS matter, don't pass your call. Listen, go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Then they use fake alert, the warriors.
Okay, so Mona, listen, if you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk that bar road where they worry for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
Housing infrastructure as a driver of economic growth. In virtually every nation, the discourse on economic growth often revolves around output, foreign investment, technology, and human capital development. Yet, one element that remains underexplored but profoundly fundamental is housing infrastructure. Housing is more than shelter. It is an economic commodity, a social stabilizer, and a catalyst for development. From job creation to stimulating demand in allied industries, and from serving as collateral for wealth creation to enabling urban renewal, housing infrastructure stands at the heart of sustainable economic advancement. At the core of modern economies, housing represents both a consumption good and an investment asset. For households, it is often the most valuable property they own. For governments, housing development is a visible marker of social responsibility, while for economies, it serves as a growth engine with multiplier effects across sectors. According to Bayo Olaoye, veteran journalist with SOUQ News Television, well-planned housing infrastructure is not just about erecting buildings. When integrated with urban planning, it prevents slum expansion, enhances livability, and boosts productivity. World Bank estimates show that the real estate and construction sector contributes between 7% and 14% of global GDP, depending on the region. In advanced economies, such as United States, housing-related activities, construction, real estate, mortgage finance, home improvement, and property services are major drivers of employment and wealth creation. In emerging economies like Nigeria, housing contributes about 3.1% of GDP, though with vast untapped potential. Its influence cuts across financial markets, labor absorption, raw material demand, and energy consumption patterns. One of the clearest pathways through which housing drives growth is job creation. Development requires diverse skilled and unskilled labor, from architects and engineers to masons, electricians, and artisans. The construction phase alone is labor-intensive and generates immediate employment. Beyond that, housing stimulates growth in allied sectors such as cement, steel, timber, and glass. Industries producing furniture, interior decor, and home appliances thrive as household spending increases, while financial institutions expand their mortgage and insurance portfolios. The International Labour Organization, ILO, estimates that each housing unit constructed generates between 5 and 7 jobs, depending on project complexity. In countries grappling with high youth unemployment, this represents a powerful avenue for labor absorption and poverty reduction. Furthermore, housing facilitates wealth accumulation and capital formation. Unlike consumer goods that depreciate, housing retains or increases in value. For many households, home ownership is the foundation of financial security and upward mobility. Housing assets also serve as collateral for credit, driving entrepreneurship and industrial growth. However, in many developing nations, underdeveloped housing finance systems limit credit access, stifling broader economic potential. Expanding housing infrastructure can therefore deepen financial systems, democratize wealth, and strengthen the foundation for inclusive growth. As the United Nations projects that nearly 70% of the global population will live in urban areas by 2050, nations like Nigeria must treat housing as a strategic tool for urban renewal and sustainable development. Cities with adequate housing attract investment, foster innovation, and enhance livability, while poor housing conditions breed overcrowding, insecurity, and economic inefficiency. In essence, housing infrastructure is not merely about buildings, it's about building economies. I'm Moyosore Adibi, SOUQ News TV.
We've got just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch, and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix, and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
I love cocoa because of my everyday cup of coffee. You may not be a lover of coffee like me, but I want to believe that you would like to make money from cocoa if you have your way around it, isn't it? This is Cashcraft, where we share with you insights on how to make money out of different business ideas you might already know but feel uninterested. You might even not be aware and just feel lost in the crowd trying to find what best suits you. Whether you know or not, it can only get better when you are open to more knowledge and great ideas. My name is Grace Komolafe, and I want you to join me as I spy into the cocoa business. No hypes, just what works. Everybody knows cocoa, but not everyone knows the many things it's used for. When you hear cocoa, your mind jumps straight to the chocolate, sweet, dark, rich chocolate. But cocoa is far more than a one-trick bean. Cocoa comes from the cocoa tree, Theobroma cacao, but the part used for cocoa and all the other products is the bean, which grows inside the tree's pod. The cocoa tree produces large, colorful pods. Inside each pod are 20 to 50 cocoa beans surrounded by sweet pod. The beans are the real stars. They are fermented, dried, roasted, and processed to produce cocoa solids, cocoa butter, and chocolates. Cocoa is rich in fat. Beyond chocolate, it is used for food and beverage, beauty and skincare, pharmaceuticals, agriculture and industry, health and wellness. Now let's talk business. Starting a cocoa farming business can be rewarding, especially in tropical regions where the crop thrives. Here are key tips to help you begin. 1. You need to understand the crop. Cocoa grows best in humid tropical climates like West Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia. It needs plenty of rainfall, shade, and rich, well-drained soil. And it starts yielding from 3 to 5 years after planting. 2. Get training or mentorship. Learning from experienced cocoa farmers or attending agricultural workshops can help a great deal. Likewise, understanding the life cycle, such as nursery period to transplanting, maintenance, harvesting, drying and fermenting remains very important. Usually, cocoa trees begin their journey in a nursery where seeds from high-yielding varieties are planted in fiber pods or plastic bags. These seedlings grow quickly, and in just a few months, they are ready to be transplanted to the main farm. 3. Choose the right variety. Select high-yield and disease-resistant cocoa varieties like CRI series from Ghana or Amazonia and Trinitario hybrids. Number 4. Secure land. Choose land in a cocoa-friendly zone. Test the soil to ensure it's fertile and free from waterlogging. 5. Set up a nursery. Germinate seeds in polybags or trays for 3 to 4 months before transplanting. Alternatively, buy seedlings from a certified nursery. 6. Land preparation and planting. Clear the land and provide shade. Cocoa doesn't like direct sunlight. Space your cocoa trees 3 times 3 meters apart. Include shade trees like banana or plantain in the early years. We move to 7. Now, regular maintenance. Weeding, pruning, mulching, and pest disease control are crucial. So, apply manure or fertilizer as needed. Number 8 tips you need to know is harvest and post-harvest handling. Cocoa pods are ready when they turn yellow or orange. Harvest with care. Don't damage the tree. Ferment beans 5 to 7 days and dry them thoroughly for quality. And now it's time to make the cash. The number 9 tips is to market and sell. Connect with local cocoa buyers, processors, or cooperatives. Remember that quality beans fetch better prices. Hence, focus on good fermentation and drying. Lastly, I bring you the number 10 tip. Think long term. Cocoa is a long-term investment, so be ready for it. No complaints or over-agitation. Consider forming or joining a farmer cooperative for support and better access to resources. May I add that to begin a cocoa farming business, it is important to establish a comprehensive business plan. This plan should encompass key aspects such as a business description, product offerings, organizational structure, marketing strategies, competitive analysis, operational procedures, and financial details. These elements are crucial for laying a solid foundation to successfully launch and grow your cocoa farming venture. Kindly do a very detailed research to support the tips I just shared with you. So when you get in, you can come out with encouraging profits. Note, this is not a professional guide. It is just a heads up, a way to call your attention or pull you out of the lost crowd so you can begin to think differently and think business. Until I see you again, I am Grace Komalafe signing out on Cashcraft.
My name is Shino Ogbadegeshi. I'm the CEO Gozi Micro Insurance. Continue to watch SOUQ News.
Adenike Adeyemi, Executive Director of Faith Foundation. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoin you all to always watch SOUQ News TV.
Hey everyone, Majuli Obaje here representing Gigi. Keep watching SOUQ News, okay? Stay updated with SOUQ News.
My name is Arton Keme. I am the head of MSME Banking. Please keep watching SOUQ News and stay glued to SOUQ News.
I recommend that more and more people should watch SOUQ News because they deal with business news.
Hi, my name is Amaka Wokolo. I am the director of the Faith Institute at Faith Foundation. Keep watching SOUQ News.
Drop makes a hole in a stone, not by force, but by consistent dripping. Nothing describes this woman more apt than her indomitable and consistent drive for excellence. Born Bilikisu Abiodun Moturayo Omobalanle Adekola on December 24, 1962, into the family of Alhaji Abdulmoshood Adekola, the first grandson of the first Alhaji in the city of Ibadan, and a Cameroonian mother, Mrs. Hannah Aduke Adekola, in the ancient city of Ibadan, Oyo State. While her mother was still pregnant with her, left for England to further his education. And while she was pretty much young, her mother left the country to go join her husband to return while she was 8 years. Meanwhile, she was left to be cared for by her grandmother. she was registered in a private boarding primary school at the age of 4.
My parents had me. My father went off to England to go to school before I was born. He left my mother pregnant with me. My mother had me, and before I was a year old, left to join her husband in England, and I was left with my grandmother. I grew up with my grandmother before my parents came back like 8 years after. Spent my first, from at age 4 or 5, I was sent into a boarding nursery school. I lived in boarding school at a very early age because my parents wanted to protect me from becoming a local Ibadan girl.
And she usually attributes these to her early independence and wisdom. Omo Agbanimi, some of her friends sometimes poke fun at her wisdom, which is way beyond her age.
I was raised by my grandmother, so I'm a bit of an old woman in my brain, in how I think, as my friends say.
Her foray into business started at a very young age at her grandmother's shop where she sells salt. Little did she know that this was going to stand her in good stead in life.
My first exposure to business was my grandmother's little shop where she sold salt. And I used to love to sit behind her little kiosk and help her to sell the salt. But who knew I was being trained for business in my future?
While at secondary school, she participated in the literary debating group, excelling in it, which made her consider a career in law, though that didn't last. Also, it is worthy of note that Ibukun Awoshika could hold her own in athletics, earning her the nickname Rabbit because she could really run.
As an athlete, if you want to run, and I used to be fast, they used to call me the Rabbit.
Unsure of what career path she was going to settle for, she considered becoming many things at one point or the other of her life. After secondary school, she thought of becoming a medical doctor, but she couldn't stand the sight of a cadaver, so she let go of that idea. Later on, architecture was another fancy that caught her attention. Similarly, she also considered becoming a chartered accountant. Finally, only see she could work in a bank.
I thought I wanted to be a doctor. Then I found out that they work with real dead bodies. I changed my mind very quickly. I then thought, you know what? I'd like to be an architect. I was good in sciences and had a problem if parents sentence you to science when you're good at both. So I ended up in Ife to study chemistry. By the end of my first year, I realized how much I hated chemistry. I could pass it, but I didn't love it. So then I thought, you know, I'd make a good lawyer. I debated throughout school. I used to represent my school in school's debate. So everybody knows that I can win an argument. So I gave it everything trying to change to law. I used to go and sit outside the door of the dean of law. And then one day the man said, come, what do you want? I want to change to law. Is that why you've been sitting outside of my office? Yes, sir. Okay, if I only take one person from another department next year, it will be you.
After the completion of her undergraduate degree at the University of Ife, she went for the compulsory one-year National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, in Kano State, where she worked as an audit trainee at Akitola Williamson Co., which later became Deloitte.
For youth service, I did everything to make sure they sent me to an accounting firm. They first sent me to a Muslim school to go and teach. That was easy to solve. I just wore a dress off my shoulder. I went to report. I was immediately rejected. Once they rejected me, I went back to the posting room and waited there for days until they sent me to Akintola Williams & Co.
Although she was later given full employment after her service year, she felt becoming an accountant wasn't a thing.
You would have thought that having gone through all that trouble, accounting would be the love of my life. When I got there, within the 1 year of my youth service, I realized how boring accounting is to me. Because they had all the processes somebody else had thought about before. All I had to do was open old dusty files from company to company without imagination or initiative. I'm a very restless human being. That was not going to work. So I finished the work. I did well. They offered me permanent employment. But I said, thank you, but no thank you. Why? Because at that moment, I had come to a realization that that was not the vision for my life.
After returning home, she joined Alibert Nigeria Limited, a furniture company, as showroom manager. In a word, only to kill time. She only stayed for 3.5 months. She left to begin a furniture manufacturing company called Quibis Limited in 1989, just months before her 26th birthday. The company later grew into SOUQ Chair Center Limited, following a venture merger with SOUQ SA and Guarantee Trust Bank in 2004.
But the first job I could find 1 week after was in a furniture company. So I went there to kill time. My kill time project has resulted in 30 years of investment of my life in building a manufacturing group in furniture. So it was never the plan of my life. So some of you will accidentally find your purpose.
One could only wonder what had led her not only to compete, but to thrive in a male-dominated terrain. With over 30 years in business, Ibukun Awoshika is a woman to reckon with, encouraging more women to participate in the business terrain. Her passion to see the girl child, not just to be educated, but much more to learn to own our own value and trade with it when there is need for it. Her lifelong ambition is to see herself die empty.
My biggest ambition in life is to die empty. Totally empty. That no talents, no giftings, no opportunities, nothing that I was born to do, that I have the capacity to do, that I do not do.
Following her remarkable achievements, she's been conferred with different doctorates, including one in business, entrepreneurship and human capacity development from the Lagos State University, Ojo. Similarly, she was given a honorary doctorate of business administration from the Obafemi Awolowo University and another from the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, Ogun State. Apart from our entrepreneurial prowess, Ibukun Awoshika is an ordained minister of the gospel, a presenter, writer, and a TV host.
The Bible tells us that let every man be what? A liar. And let who alone be true? Let God alone be true.
She hosts a television program called Business His Way. Also, she acted in the 2020 Kunle Afolanyo movie titled Citation, which in addition to the books she had written, including Business His Way, The Girl Entrepreneur, The Girls in the Boardroom, and My Thoughts in Codes. In 2004, she earned a certification in Business Administration and Management from the IESE Business School. She's also the chairperson of the Novel Nigeria Office for Philanthropy and Impact Investment. She has consistently encouraged women to take up more leadership positions without compromising their values and integrity. In 2005, she was appointed the MD CEO of SOUQ SA of France, GTB PLC, the Chair Center Limited, and some local investors after the ban of the importation of furniture by the federal government of Nigeria in 2004. Furthermore, it is noteworthy to note that she independently established another ultra-modern furniture facility, Furniture Manufacturers Mart in Ikeja, Lagos. In 2008, she was among 5 Nigerian entrepreneurs who appeared in the first African version of the Dragon's Den. Unlike a great deal of others who knew exactly what they wanted to do from the beginning, she admitted to accidentally finding purpose. Ibukun Awoshika is a member of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, a member of the board of Nigerian Sovereign Wealth Fund, a former chairperson of the Board of Trustees of Women in Management, Business and Public Service, and a member of the IESC's International Advisory Board. Furthermore, she sits on the board of Digital Jewelry Limited and Cabri Nigeria PLC. Additionally, she's a fellow of the African Leadership Initiative and Aspen Global Leadership Network. History was made on the 7th day of September 2015. Following the resignation of Prince Ajibola Afonja, she became the first female chair of the First Bank of Nigeria in its 126 years of existence. Ibukun Awosika's Octo-Nigerian father, Abdul Moshood Adekola, who was a great influence in her life, passed on the 20th April 2020 after serving the Lord as an usher at the Fountain of Life Church in Ilupeju. He was a Muslim convert. He was converted few days before his 60th birthday. She got married on her 28th birthday to Abiodun Awosika, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Excel Exploration and Production Company Limited, and they are blessed with 3 fine young men, Oludola, Olufishika, and Olamiposi. To celebrate a life of impact at 60, friends and mentees surprised Awoshika by building the Ibukun Awoshika Sports Center at our beloved secondary school, Methodist Girls High School, Yaba, Lagos. This project took about 6 months to complete and had some of our mentees like Tara Durutoye, Ndidi Okuano, Chichi Nwoko, and Bisola Runsewe. They marshaled it alongside a team of other successful people. She stands like Joshua upon the pinnacle of the Horeb, looking to command an army of a new generation of women entrepreneurs that wouldn't stop at anything to achieving their God-given dreams. For her, she believes that regardless of how illustrious her career is and how successful she could ever get in life, her family and husband remain the most important gift in her life. Ibukun Awoshika.
Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, Wefi, this POS matter don't pass your call. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
They use fake alert the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen to If you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Wefi. They don't walk that bar road where they warrior for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogwefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
Hello and welcome to the maiden edition of Queen's Court, where we discuss the role of women in leadership and nation building. I'm Juliet Binite, Reverend Juliet. In recent times, more women have stepped into leadership roles, demonstrating empowering role of education, technology, and access to information. These women leaders have not only achieved remarkable success in their fields, but also played pivotal role in promoting gender equality and education reforms. Today, we will be looking at the role of women in leadership and the unseen barriers. But before we set the ball rolling, let's go on a quick break and we'll be right back to introduce our guests. Welcome back. Women leaders already battling workplace stereotypes and seeking work-life balance found themselves shouldering more enormous responsibility in recent time. Hence, we will be looking at the role of women in leadership and the rising challenges. Joining me for this discussion is my sis, a big sis, but in this court, we will call you Lady. Lady Orochi Ogan, leadership consultant and the CEO of O'Neill, a global management firm focused on leadership at my immediate right. Welcome, Lady Orochi.
Thank you
to the
very
Queen's
much.
Court.
Thank you.
Maiden version.
Thank you.
A pleasure having you here.
I'm glad.
And of course, another big sis of mine, a wonderful, incredible woman leader, Lady Adeola Aziz. In this court, the Queen's Court. So get ready for that. A politician and a social entrepreneur, and of course, the founder of an NGO, Community Care Foundation, focused on empowering youth and women, and especially in agriculture, solving the hunger problem. And I just want to welcome you, sis. Lady Adeola, you're welcome to Queen's Court.
Thank you very much for having me.
We will be discussing these matters of women in leadership and the challenges. Yeah. And today's discussion is going to be focused more on the ideological issues of these leadership issues. Because women and leadership is almost as if it's not something to go together. When you say women, it doesn't count leadership. So we want to have that discussion, understanding that women have been leading in the past. We have seen great women leaders. We have seen Queen Amina Ozaria. We have seen Fumilayo Ransom Kuti in the West. And we have seen Margaret Ekpo in the East. So even in Nigeria, we have women who have led and showed tremendous leadership. But they're also very minimal leaders all over, abysmal women in leadership in different spheres of influence. The banking sector is beginning to show up with great women as CEO at the top of the echelon of the bank. But however, do we have enough women who are going to occupy that seat the moment they leave? So this discussion is very important, especially to a new generation of women rising, with the issues of women leading both at home and at the city gate. That balance of things, we need to have that discussion. That's why it's important to have the discussion. I'm coming to you, Lady Adeola, and of course it's going to be the same, we'll dovetail to that same area of discussion on these rural women. Because of the issues of mindset, culture, educational background, and the 9 years of the philosophy of understanding that women are also leaders. How do we navigate, apart from education, training, let's say training, what is the intricate issues that you think is still limiting these women, even at the rural level? Let me give you an example. I was at a program where I needed to speak to some women. When they called me, I thought they were educated women, but I found out they were not, so I had to go into pidgin English a little bit. But I realized that these women have such capacity and role to play in the society. And they were complaining at the issues of the genital mutilation, the issue of the girl-child marriage. It was within the middle belt of Nigeria. And I was telling them, but you are a leader, you are women leaders. And they were like, no, what are you talking about? That is the chief, is the this. So how are we going to go about, especially the rural Africa, because we have over 20 million women entrepreneurs, SMEs, and it's fundamentally women. producing, adding to the GDP per capita of Nigeria. Incredible when I saw that data. And yet we say we are not leading. Can you speak to that? And Lady Horichi also would add to that comment, because it's at the center of this discourse in its ideological and philosophical level. Because before we talk about specializing in areas of leadership, do we really want the men to still tell us to lead? Or can we just simply realize it?
You see, when you're talking about what you just said at the rural level, right? We need to understand that, like I said, most of them are illiterate, and most of them are controlled and led by their chiefs, the ballers, their husbands, and all of that. I'll give you an example. During the local government election, we had to have a by-election in one of my wards. And there was a particular woman who was very, very active, widow, 6 children, she was under 23. And I said to her that, why don't you come and represent the ward, because we needed you to be there, and somebody passed. And she said, yes. So I said, okay, we will support her, we will fund her, and all of that. Do you know that by the next day or 2 days later, when we reached her, we couldn't get her on the phone. And I actually paid somebody to go and look for her. Did something happen? What had happened was that her uncle, her late husband's brother, the ballers, and said, how dare she put herself forward? Or she said she didn't put herself forward, that it was Honorable Adiola Aziz who asked her, because she saw the potential. She mobilized a lot for us. And she went into hiding.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine that? So I now realize that what we need to do, we have to start the education from these male at that level who control these women.
Excellent.
During campaign, they're for you. They will do this, they'll support you, they say this is who we want. On the day of election, right? Their husbands, the ballers, they would have given all of them. All of you, this is the direction you go. So when you have that kind of, I don't know what to call it, whether it's a directive, I don't want to use the word bullying or whatever, a directive from their husband,
that's what it is.
Whatever, to do this. So tell me, how do those women want to express themselves? By voting or deciding or taking choices or making decisions that they feel is right for them. It's not inclusive.
So we need strong advocacy.
We need strong advocacy, and we need to try and see how we can get the buy-in of these men who have a strong hold on their wives, their sisters, on these women, to say, look, this is your daughter. This is what will happen. And a woman at that level only cares for food on the table for the children and how the children will go to school. Once you can satisfy those 2 needs, right, a woman she'll thrive on her own. But when she doesn't have that independence of mind to make a decision by herself, hey, she's in bondage. She's in bondage, and that is at that local level. I saw it live and direct. So they do not have the capacity. They've got the competency. They do not have that capacity to take those decisions by themselves. So it's limiting, and it's patriarchy, it's stereotyping, and hey, why should you raise your head up to say you want to lead? Who's giving you permission?
Excellent. But in comparatively to that, let me even draw it back to even at the international level, we only have about 23% to 25% of women at the global level. So if the rural woman, the issue of that control, is it the same as the woman at the elite level who has gone to school, at least did her high school, or suddenly she disappeared? I have had friends who were probably acting before, they get married and they just disappear off the screen. What is it? Is it just the limiting factor from the men, or the psychology of the women themselves, knowing that now that I'm married, maybe I'm not called to lead?
Very interesting question. Very interesting question, because even before you asked it, I wanted to use a corporate example equivalent to the rural one that
Excellent.
I attended an HR meet and greet meeting. It was a people-centered thing, and the head of HR of a multinational bank came to talk to us about barriers and women in the corporate world. She gave a practical example. She said, if there's a general management or CEO opportunity in Côte d'Ivoire, and you call a man and said, go and prepare, we're getting you ready, you're going to be the CEO in Côte d'Ivoire, the man will jump, thank, and if you call a woman, the woman will tell you, this is an exciting opportunity, let me go home and discuss it with my husband. This is what is going on in the corporate world. I'm not talking about rural environment. So these barriers are real.
Yeah.
But in the same circumstances, we now had another CEO from a bank that told us about intentionality and planning. She said she went into banking career and she was intentional from word go that she was going to be at the top and nobody was going to limit her. It's not about feminism or women, whatever. She just had a relationship with her husband that helped her husband understand her and help her husband push her career. So she had a baby at the point they made her a chief executive officer for a bank in Ivory Coast or somewhere. She just, then there was not even GSM. She just planned, had 2 stable nannies, had a way of reaching out to them, you know, on a minute basis when she's doing her work. And she was able to do the assignment. She was able to take the position and enhance her career in the bank. At the time she was talking now, she was now CEO in Nigeria. So these barriers are real. And because I'm an SME person, when you mentioned SME, my body was shaking.
I can imagine, yes.
You see, so it's not an easy assignment, but if we're intentional, you need to reach out to them. It's a two-pronged approach. The first thing is that you need to sensitize the women. You need to get their buy-in. You know, you need to let them understand the benefits for them. It's not for me. You know, you need to talk to them at their level. Speak vernacular. If you can't speak that vernacular, get somebody to interpret. Some of them do not. If they understand pidgin English, I'm very good at that. When I get to my village, I start racking in Igbo language. What is important to me is communication.
Yeah.
So you reach out to them at their level and try and sensitize them, create awareness. Let them. There's a paradigm shift that needs to happen. Let them begin. You break down the growth mindset in a simple way that will help them understand. That's the first step. Second step is to work with this huge, I don't know what to call them, husbands, chiefs, cousins, uncles, the male factor, you know, that is sitting over the female folk patriarchally, is to get them to understand. It's also a buy-in process, you know, have conversations with them, help them to understand. When you get into a rural environment, you get to the valley. The valleys, I've seen people that were able to work and change an environment with the Oba. The Obas, recently, they're very literate. The valleys, even if they're not, they have understanding. If you get their buy-in, you just go out of your way, try and get their buy-in. Once you get their buy-in, it's easier to get the buy-in of all the other male figures in that environment. It is possible. I had listened to a senator that wanted to change something fundamentally from an history of influence, and it was genital mutilation. And she started, it was a Herculean task, but she was deliberate, it was planned. She started with the Oba of her village. Yes. She started with the Oba, continued having meetings until the Oba got the buy-in.
Excellent.
So when the Oba got the buy-in, she went to the youth. The youth got the buy-in and said any woman that is mutilated will not marry. Do you understand? So I'm giving this practical example to say that it's possible.
Societies have changed.
Yes, it's possible. If you go systematically, you will have a buy-in and there will be a mindset change. There
there'll be a paradigm shift, and then you begin to make progress. By the time you're handling simultaneously the women, and the male figures that are barriers, the barriers are real.
No,
that's
real.
why we need to
They're real.
be very deliberate about it.
I want to add to that contribution, especially for the current generation of women that we have. One of the things that I've also found out is that if you know you have the desire to lead, for goodness sake, when you are dating your spouse or your husband to be, please discuss it. Because some men will not entertain it. So you will not get in and say, when I marry, I will change his mind.
No, it's too
because if it doesn't happen at that stage, you don't express your desire to him, and he doesn't support it at the beginning, it's not going to work.
That's the story. I can simplify.
Yes.
I can get up today, I'm going tomorrow.
Right. So getting the buy-in at an early stage, once you know leadership is in your mind, is extremely important. So that you know where you're going to. Because if they don't support you,
no, it's a problem. It's a challenge.
At the same time,
married.
Yes. At the same time, as a
single
politician again, if you go out there and you don't see your husband beside you once or twice, it's like, what is she? Is she here? You know the negativity that goes with it. I remember when I was contesting, I had to tell my husband at the early stages of my campaign, please be beside me. And they all definitely they enjoy it.
Excellent.
So it's important that they get the buy-in of your husband before the violence and the obas and all of that.
Can I add something? Before you add, just for us to begin to conclude something, because this is a proof of what you have said. Because the data shows that there was a organization that financial outperformed industry competitors have more women in leadership. That the more women are in leadership, the organization's competitiveness increases and improves. And I always tell men also, if your wife is a leader, is an improvement to your social capital, is an improvement to your financial capital. As we wind down this discussion that is a continuum, it continues because it's a very broad discussion. And we now see the reason why the discussion should happen, because the women quotient in the leadership role beside whether it's their husband or other men, is quite low. We still have them in all spheres of influence. We're having that challenge. So you can make your conclusive point of what will it take for us to increase the quotient as we wrap this up. Starting from her as she concludes her points, then also dovetail to that question.
My last words as we conclude.
Yes.
I was going to say that when it comes to marriage, I'm not deviating. I think that conversation should happen whether you want to be a leader or not.
Yes.
You need to as a human, because you need to let your husband get your husband consent from the beginning to support you to be the best versions of your life.
That's it.
You need to.
That's your HR speaking.
Yes. You need to get your husband to support you to be, you are his helpmeet. You're there to help him to be the best versions of his life, but it's a partnership. You should also make a commitment to help you to be the best versions of your life.
Precisely.
And so if you have that balance at the beginning, it's easier to manage things. It's easier to manage things, when you're in the marriage. And these are my last words. I keep coming back to, plan and organize. We need to be very strategic.
Yes.
We need to deal with the critical mass.
We need to prepare for it. We need to have a dialogue from the city. This not just your husband. Excellent. Silence and environment. We don't come together as a team.
That's what we're doing. This is not a talk show.
Definitely.
I'm a solution bearer. Here to solve problems. That's why I came on the program.
Yes.
So outside this program, as we progress, can we come together and put up a strategic plan on what we can execute. And I'm not talking about high level.
Yes.
Let's go back, because my family has a foundation. I understand how to run grassroots issues. Let's go back to the grassroots. Let's start doing something.
Okay, thank you very much. Lady Adeola, as we conclude.
Yes. There's been a lot of talk about the value.
Yes.
About the value that women bring to the table.
Yes.
If they are there.
Okay.
If they show up, if they're there. Promoting women leadership is simply social justice.
Excellent.
It is inclusivity.
Excellent.
It is diverse critical thinking. It brings prosperity to the table.
Yes.
To the nation, to the community, to the society. So why do you want to leave 50% of the gender that makes up the workforce, that makes up the SMEs, that makes up who we are in Nigeria? Why do you want to cut them out of the equation?
Excellent.
It's like having an aeroplane flying with one wing.
It will never fly.
So it will never fly. So the earlier we start to realize that women leadership is a must, it's a task that we must face, embrace, be intentional, and ensure that anything that comes in our way, for those of us who are there, we advocate, lead. What's the other word again? When you lobby, the men, that please, this is for your wives, your daughters, your sisters. Social justice is key.
Thank you very much.
Equity and equality is paramount.
Thank you very much. We must all remember that leadership is not masculine, it's human. And women's rights are indeed human rights. And every woman is called to lead, right from the home gate to the city gate. And once again, I want to appreciate Lady Orochi Ogan and Lady Adeola Aziz to Queen's Court, the maiden version.
Thank you.
2024. Thank you for being with us. And thank you for listening. God bless you, and bye for now.
My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijoma Pelokoro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian or Mosunde Lawson.
It's Ife Rita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Lola Dare. I'm inviting you to keep watching SOUQ News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like SOUQ News. SOUQ News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to SOUQ News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news, first time.
Find SOUQ News. Be with SOUQ News. Never switch off. You are better for it. SOUQ News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for SOUQ News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Please, guys, keep watching
SOUQ News.
Today is an important day in the lives of every woman all over the world. Celebration of International Women's Day is really quite welcome because a lot of women have made immense contributions to the human society, and they must be commended and encouraged, and they should be given access to quality education, health facilities, food, and so many other wonderful things to make life easier for them and for their children, because they are the actual ones that the lives of our children revolve around. Must make life comfortable for every woman, and we should remember the efforts and sacrifices made by leaders who have fought over the years for gender equality. Gender equality we have heard so much about. It's been preached in every nook and corner of the world. But is it actually taking effect in the lives of our people? Quality of life. Where do we start from? One always wonders whether women are receiving the kind of quality of life that we deserve. Young women are still being treated as slaves in different parts of the world. Perhaps we don't consider them the category of women when you think of young girls and young women who have been used as slaves in different homes as housemaids, but they also deserve to be given good quality of life. Some young girls are still being pushed around, and people still consider them not to be equal to members of their gender, even in the homes where they live and work very hard to maintain. So we pray that as women celebrate today, as we all come together to celebrate Women's Day, we should be aware that we also have to make our own contributions. Women also have to play their own role in improving the quality of life of people that are being put in our care, so that life will be made easier for everyone. You expect other young children to take care of your own children, and yet you don't really believe that they deserve good quality of life. So it is with this that we all want to speak to ourselves directly, whether we are actually playing our own role. Even as women, do we really believe in gender equality? If so, how do we put it into practice? What have we done to help our fellow human beings to achieve their goals in life? Some people still believe that young girls should be at the rung of the ladder. So we must remember that those who have made their marks in the different fields in the past are those that were given the opportunity. So please let us find within ourselves, deep in our hearts, the roles that we ourselves have played. If we have reached the top of the ladder, do we kick that ladder off so that others don't climb and get to the same level with us? To embrace honesty and integrity, we must do something. And this is the day that has been set aside for all women all over the world, whether you are in Nigeria or in Ghana or in China. We should really continue to play our own role. Many singers have made songs about women being top of the ladder or in different areas as teachers and doctors. But it's very difficult for a woman to compose a song about a woman getting there. It's only men. If we go back into the records, you will discover that it's only men. And I can mention one or two of the names without promoting the music of the bands or whoever it is that have done their own little bits. It's men that sing the praises of women. Women hardly sing the praises of one another. There's hardly anywhere, except at Christmas, of course, when it's a universal and a religious thing that everyone should sing the praise of the child that is born at that time by a woman. So that is the best time that you hear a woman sing about, the progress that should be made by women, the encouragement that they should be given. So let us play our own role in our own little corner and make sure that life gets better and better. Year in, year out. We shall come back again to celebrate this time again next year. Happy International Women's Day.
Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, Wefi, this POS matter don't pass joke. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
They use fake alert the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen, If you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbuefi. They don't walk that bar road where they worry for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogbuefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
As Nigeria marks International Women's Day, the country's political leadership continues to reflect a significant gender imbalance. Despite constituting nearly half of the population and more than half of registered voters, women hold only a marginal share of elective offices, accounting for just about 4.7% of political leadership positions nationwide. The disparity is especially glaring in the federal legislature. Women hold only about 4.5% of seats in the National Assembly. That is, just 21 out of 169 lawmakers, placing Nigeria among the lowest-ranked countries globally for female parliamentary representation. At the state executive level, the picture is only slightly better. While Nigeria has never elected a female governor, women currently serve as deputy governors in 8 of the 36 states. These women represent about 22% of deputy governorship positions in the country, bringing diverse expertise from engineering to academia into state governance. The emergence of these female deputy governors represent incremental progress in a system historically dominated by men. Their leadership demonstrates women's capacity to shape policy outcomes at the state level. However, their small numbers also underscore the structural barriers, from cultural norms and party dynamics to financial constraints, that continue to limit participation. As Nigeria celebrates International Women's Day, the stories of these deputy governors serve as both symbols of progress and reminders of the work still needed to achieve true gender parity. In our next episode, we shall take a look at women's representation in the Senate, which remains critically low and stands as one of the starkest symbols of political underrepresentation.
human achievements, goal setting, hard work, and dedication have been proven to be some of the elements towards success. The journey of remarkable individuals with lasting impact on the world are often filled with manifold stories, but through determination, they build their lives and make extraordinary contributions. Join me on the story of a trailblazer in business and philanthropy, Aiboje Ig Mokwede, a lawyer turned banker who has done well for himself, made an indelible mark within the banking sector, and has continued in his ambition of touching lives within Nigeria and across Africa. Aiboje Ig Mokwede. Within the Nigerian business space and philanthropy, few names resonate and are respected profoundly. Such is Aiboje Ig Mokwede. If you're just watching, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great documentaries. Like, share, and comment. Known as a successful business mogul, banker, investor, and a philanthropist who cares about making difference, Ig Mokwede's story is one of hard work, creativity, and a desire to drive positive change across Africa. Born to civil service parents on September 24, 1966, in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria, he hails from Sabongida Ora, Edo State. Aiboje spent his formative years with his parents in Lagos, where he had his primary education at St. Saviour's School. He enrolled into Federal Government College, Kaduna, and at age 16, he was admitted to study law at the University of Benin, where he graduated at a young age of 19 with a law degree, displaying early signs of his exceptional intellect and drive. Called to the Nigerian bar in 1987, he started his career in 1988 as a lawyer at Continental Merchant Bank during his National Youth Service Corps NYSC year. In 1991, he joined Guarantee Trust Bank PLC, GT Bank, where he rose to prominence as an executive director. His big moment came in 2002 when he led the acquisition of Access Bank, turning it from a small regional bank into a big player, a banking powerhouse in the industry. Throughout his career, Ig Mokwede has taken on different leadership roles, including Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Access Bank until December 2013. He later became President of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and retired in 2017, but remains on the National Council. Bowing out of Access Bank, he was given a befitting send-off.
No man or combination of men could transform what we met in Access Bank in 2002 into what would cause this type of people to come and celebrate today's office.
His foresight and managerial acumen have brought him chairmanship and directorial roles in prominent organizations such as African Finance Corporation, Associated Discount House Limited, Petrolon Energy, among others, thereby contributing greatly to their growth and sustainability. Hard work, they say, pays. Aigboje Aigimokwede's hard work earned him many awards and honors. He received the National Productivity Order of Merit Award in 2009, conferred with Commander of the Order of the Niger CON in 2011 by the then President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, during his administration for contributing to banking and finance. As a visionary leader, he was installed into the E&Y World Entrepreneurs Hall of Fame in 2011 as the EY West Africa Entrepreneur of the Year and named African Banker of the Year in 2013. These amounting to how much others values his leadership and ideas. He got honored by Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers of Nigeria. Beside his work, Aigimokwede also gives back to society. This philanthropist is involved in efforts to improve governance and healthcare across Africa through his Aigimokwede Foundation, making a positive impact on people's life. He initiated the Adopt a Healthcare Facility program in 2019, and he is the chairman of ABC Health and director of the Private Sector Health Alliance of Nigeria. He is the founder of Chairman of Coronation Capital Limited since 2015 and has contributed to the growth of the Coronation ecosystem. Coronation Capital Limited, with other arms of its businesses, also bettered Coronation Art Gallery in Lagos on the 13th of May 2022, a platform for showcasing exceptional works of art that embodied the essence of cultural significance and artistic expression. Aigboje Aigimokwede founded Coronation Art Gallery with the vision of democratizing art, foster appreciation and understanding for the artistic world, and making it accessible to a wider audience.
Bumi Augusto is, I knew Bumi when she was born. I know her parents, and I know all her siblings. She's a beautiful, wonderful, gifted Nigerian artist. And just like many of the others here, the piece behind me is a triptych, long throats, all up to longer throats. I actually thought that I was going to caption this collection. This is really a microcosm of my entire collection, but I was going to capture it longer throats because this represents a lot of this collecting I did during COVID. Many of these pieces actually were not in Nigeria. I brought them home. I'll tell you something. I'm known for collecting masters, the Enwonwus and the Yusuf Grillos and so on. I still do, okay? And I kind of stuck to that genre of classic. Those are the people who, when I was growing up, as I told you, those are the people who were my parents, either just older than them or contemporaries. So I grew up knowing these artists as my uncles, okay? So my first collecting was, from works, done by masters like that. After a while, these works are really priced in. But Bumi Augusto, her works, which may appear even a bit pricey now, in 10 years' time, So this is also hosted by Coronation, which are companies that are all about wealth creation. So there's also the investment angle. I don't collect for investments, but with all that these great Nigerian and African artists, the young ones, have been doing, and the way their prices have been rising, I've got to focus on investments now.
He collaborated with the Nigerian Civil Service to digitalize work processes and public service delivery in October 2021. Recognizing 43 public servants at the 2022 Civil Service Award ceremony on behalf of the Aigimokwede Foundation with an encouragement of cash prize worth 500,000 naira for each awardees.
It is my understanding that annually 43 public servants will be recognized in this fashion, and so with effect from the 2022 Civil Service Awards ceremony, on behalf of the Aigimokwede Foundation, we will be putting an endowment with effect from this award session whereby each awardee receives a cash prize of 500,000 naira. And in the interest of digital culture, the credits will go directly to your accounts.
Among his many certifications, affiliations, and fellowships, Ige Mokwede holds Triumph MBA from the London School of Economics, New York University, and HEC Paris. He attended an executive management program at Harvard Business School in the year 2000, and he is a member of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, also appointed to the International Advisory Board of Oxford University's Blavatnik School of Government. Ige Mokwede is a honorary fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria and had received an honorary doctorate of science from Olabisi Onabanjo University in 2018. Also honored by Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers of Nigeria last year in a groundbreaking ceremony.
If the operators of our markets, of a nation's capital markets, are properly resourced in terms of skill, capacity, and conduct, nothing can stop that nation and its citizens from leaving the tarmac and moving from third world to first world. Nothing can stop it. The correlation between the advancement of financial markets and the advancement of national economies is perfect. It's not almost, it is perfect. And so, you understand why I have tied myself to the future of this market and why I have tried from the very word go that my voice was heard to get the public sector and the elite within the private sector to understand that we cannot ignore this market.
Igboje is the first African co-chairman of the Global Business Coalition on Health and chairman of the Friends of the Global Fund, Africa. The business mogul has made significant donations to the Global Fund. He is the vice chairman of the Global Citizen Nigeria and creator of the Nigerian Solidarity Support Fund. There is always a story, or say many stories, behind every success, and this Ige Mokwede has shared in a book called Leaving the Tarmac, Buying a Bank in Africa, Red Door 2020. In it, he talked about how he and others turned Access Bank into a major success, showing his determination and vision.
On a personal note, I think the first thing is that I left Access Bank. I retired as CEO in 2013, and I knew that I needed time off just to recharge my battery, so to speak. I didn't think I would have more than a year and a half before my perpetual motion character, kind of took over once again. And so I wanted to use that period as productively as possible. So I had a year and a half, and what better to do in a year and a half, than write a book. And for me, it was an opportunity, for posterity to tell the story to my children in a structured sense, because before then, I just hadn't had the opportunity to sit down with my kids and say, this is what I did today, or this is what I did yesterday, and these are the highs and the lows of this journey. Herbert and I went through a hell of an experience between 2002 and 2013. And for him, that experience has continued. We learned so much. We were exposed to so many things. We had really, really great mountains that we climbed. We scaled some pretty high heights and so on. And in a sense, it would be very selfish of us to, lock this up in a box and not share it with others, because I think our experience, can be used by any other person who has an ambition to go out there and do, whatever it is they seek, whatever it is they dream about. And so the notion of writing for posterity and recording this period in my life, and probably more important, the notion of
preparing a way for others, those are the things that drove me to write the book.
Ig Imokwede, former managing director of Access Bank Group, returns to lead Access Holdings, replacing Abubakar Jimo. His return after a decade aims to realize the shared vision of the late co-founder, Herbert Wigwe. Access Holdings PLC, trading under the Access Corp ticker on the Nigerian exchange, began to feel Iboje's progressive impact as its stock value increased by 1.52% following his appointments as chairman. Iboje Ig Imokwede is back again. Ig Imokwede is married to Ofovwe Ig Imokwede and has 4 children, namely Ohiozoje, Aima, Morenike, and Renown. He has been able to balance his family life with his professional achievements, setting an example as a leader and role model to many. He is an ordained minister of the Promised Land Ministry. In the annals of Nigerian business history, his story stands out, showcasing the power of vision, perseverance, and giving back to the community. From his humble beginnings to global recognition, he inspires others to dream big and make a difference. His legacy remains as he continues to make strides in business and philanthropy.
We've got just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
Muhammad Yunus was born on the 28th of June 1940 in the village of Batwa, Chittagong, a British Indian colony which is currently known as Bangladesh. He attended Lama Bazar Primary and Secondary School in his village and passed the matriculation examination into Chittagong Collegiate School, where he ranked 16th out of 39,000 students. After his graduation in 1961, Yunus joined the Bureau of Economics as a research assistant and was later appointed lecturer of economics at the Chittagong College. During that time, he also set up a profitable packaging factory on the side. In 1965, he received a Fulbright scholarship to study in the United States, where he obtained his PhD in economics from the Vanderbilt University Graduate Program in Economic Development. Between 1969 and 1972, after his keen education excellence of apex heights and proportions in the United States, he returned home and was appointed professor of economics at the University of Chittagong. He was eventually appointed onto the board of directors to the United Nations Foundation, where he served for 33 years. When Bangladesh suffered a famine in 1974, Yunus felt he had to do something for the very poor. In his country, he founded the Grameen Bank. His motivation was to create economic and social development for the very poor, giving long-term loans to those who wanted to start small enterprises to pay back when they can. The aim to help was to get many of them out of poverty. For this, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006. Muhammad Yunus is a recipient of numerous international awards for his ideas and endeavors, including the Humanitarian Award in 1993, World Food Prize in 1994, Independence Day Award in 1987, Bangladesh's highest award, the King Hussein Humanitarian Leadership Award in 2000. He was also awarded the Volvo Environment Prize in 2003, Nikkei Asia Prize for Regional Growth in 2004, Franklin D. Roosevelt Freedom Award in 2006, as well as the SOUQ Peace Prize in the same year. All humans are born entrepreneurs, he would always fondly say. His heart showed through his everyday life.
When you visit Lagos for the first time and Google fun or recreational places in the city, at the top of that list will be Freedom Park. Located in Lagos Island on Broad Street, Freedom Park over the years has become home to the Nigerian arts and the culture at large. From annual big shows like the Lagos Theatre Festival, celebration at the Lagos Poetry Festival, to local festivals that celebrate literature, music and arts. Freedom Park is one of the most visited recreational sites in Lagos, for both local and tourist people alike. A place to mingle, unwind, or simply just have fun. Freedom Park, however, hasn't always been a place of fun and games. It has a history that dates to 1861, when Lagos was made a British colony. In 1885, Freedom Park was built as a fortified prison from imported bricks. It was referred to as Her Majesty's Broad Street Prison. Some prominent political prisoners were held in the prison, people such as Herbert Macaulay, Michael Imodu, and Obafemi Awolowo. In 1979, Her Majesty's Broad Street Prison was destroyed, reduced to a dumping ground. It was later rebuilt in the 1990s, celebrated in 2010, Nigeria's 50th Independence Day. Freedom Park still holds a bit of its history within its walls. In the museum, where there are pictures and artifacts. Some of the old prison facilities have been converted into leisure facilities that people visit and enjoy today.
Hello and welcome to SOUQ Quickie. I am Bola Ray. Let's take you around the world in 2 minutes. Here's what's moving money, markets and power today. And today, it's reform pressure, refinery expansion and diplomacy under strain. We begin in Nigeria, where economists are warning that heavy spending ahead of the 2026 and 2027 elections could threaten recent progress in debt management and economic stability. Election cycles, once again under fiscal scrutiny. Still in Nigeria, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission says electricity distribution companies improve revenue collection despite a drop in national power supply. Less electricity, but better collections. Now to Guinea, where workers have halted operations at the massive Simandou mine over an ongoing wage dispute. The strike is disrupting iron ore production, linked to a consortium led by China's Baowu Resources. Another reminder of labor pressure in global mining. And finally, Hungary has returned seized cash and gold belonging to Ukraine's Oshad Bank, a move welcomed by Volodymyr Zelensky as both countries seek to ease tensions. Small financial move, big diplomatic signal. And that's your global snapshot in minutes. Stay sharp, stay informed, because the world is not slowing down. Stay tuned for more updates on SOUQ Quickie. I am Bolare.
My name is Shino Ogbadegeshin. I'm the CEO of Gozi Micro Insurance. Continue to watch SOUQ News.
Adenike Adeyemi, Executive Director of Faith Foundation. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch SOUQ News TV.
Hey everyone, Majuli Obaje here representing Gigi. Keep watching SOUQ News, okay? Stay updated with SOUQ News.
My name is Aton Kene. I am the head of MSME Banking. Please keep watching SOUQ News and stay glued to SOUQ News.
I recommend that more and more people should watch SOUQ News because they deal with business news.
Hi, my name is Amaka Wokolo. I am the director of the Faith Institute at Faith Foundation. Keep watching SOUQ News.
Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, boy, if this POS matter, don't pass your call. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Nigga, you fake alert the warriors.
Okay, so Mona, listen, if you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbuefi. They don't walk that bar road where they warrior for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogbuefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
Nigeria's current inflation, which has driven up costs and caused economic shocks, is squeezing growth and profitability in event centers, forcing operators in the real key commercial real estate subsector to increase rents by over 100%. The rising cost of operations, driven by high energy, security, and logistics expenses, and by the workforce demand for improved wages, have led operators of event centers to increase prices in major cities across the country. While urban centers are witnessing a significant surge in the event management sector, driven by rapid urbanization and a cultural affinity for grand receptions and celebrations, operators are leveraging high demand, especially in strategic locations, by doubling prices. In this special report, Bayo Olaoye observes that Nigeria's event industry continues to thrive, driven by creativity and a high demand for parties covering birthdays, wedding ceremonies, burials, naming ceremonies, chieftaincy conferment, luncheons, graduation ceremonies, book launches, conferences, workshops, and colloquiums. In recent years, event center operations have become a major revenue stream, as property owners convert land assets into event venues in cities such as Abuja, Port Harcourt, Anambra, Ibadan, Akure, Kano, Asaba, and others. The demand for these facilities vary based on capacity, location, and available amenities. Findings by SOUQ News Television reveal that over the past 7 months, event hall rental costs have risen by more than 70% in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. A 30-capacity conference room, previously rented for 100,000 naira, now goes for between 150,000 naira and 200,000 naira. A 300-capacity hall, formerly priced at 200,000 naira, now costs about 400,000 naira, while a 500 capacity hall has increased from about 4 million naira to 5 million naira. Similarly, a 250 capacity hall previously priced at 1.5 million naira now goes for between 2 million naira and 2.5 million naira, depending on location and facilities. A 50 capacity hall that cost 150,000 naira now rents for about 250,000 naira, while a 100 capacity hall has risen from 250,000 naira to 300,000 naira. The industry is evolving, with operators introducing both micro halls and large capacity venues ranging from 30 to over 2,000 guests. These hall capacities emphasize quality finishing and design, constant power backed by a generator, and alternative power supply such as solar, good decor, good cooling, and noise absorbers. Some of the facilities come with exquisite exterior and interior spaces with over 500 parking spaces and a sitting hall capacity of over 2,000 guests. In some cases, the halls are equipped with state-of-the-art audiovisual systems, LED screens, stage lights, speakers, banquet tables, gold chairs, and more to make your occasion fascinating and memorable. The cultural penchant among Nigerians to party and mark milestone events such as birthdays, weddings, receptions, anniversaries, seminars, naming ceremonies, workshops, and others makes the demand for event centers a viable business in Nigeria's cities, as there would always be demand for such facilities. Beyond that, the commercial real estate business has over time contributed immensely to the country's gross domestic product growth, GDP, job creation, and infrastructure advancement in major cities. Valued at over $20 billion, event center operators support the creation of jobs, including event decorators, event planners, ushers, vendors, and security, and enhance the social fabric of society through its socio-cultural facets. Many of the operators treat the business as an investment and generate high returns due to the center's frequent short-term rental nature. In most urban centers, operators face a similar set of challenges, including high operational costs, regulatory interference, and inadequate infrastructure, especially in the area of sufficient parking spaces. In locations like Lagos and Abuja, there have been a series of government clampdowns on event centers for failing to comply with existing regulations and environmental standards, especially regarding noise pollution and lack of parking space. Developers of the facilities often fail to allocate sufficient space for cars, leading to traffic congestion and creating security risk around the construction site. This is a development that government regards as a grave violation of the guidelines under the Physical Planning Law. According to existing physical planning regulations, parking provision for commercial outlets and development shall be one car park for every 60 square meters of the total lettable floor area. Places of assembly, auditoriums, conference, and event centers shall provide one parking space for every 10 square meters of usable floor space, or in accordance with the development plan and its approval order. Global economic pressures, including geographical tensions affecting energy prices, have significantly increased the cost of powering these facilities. Rising fuel prices have made generator usage more expensive, impacting profitability. Also, trends recorded include surging maintenance costs for facilities, including lighting and sound equipment. Some operators regularly experience faulty air conditioning systems, poor ventilation, and inadequate lighting, which hinders smooth service delivery. But operators justify price hike amid rising costs. An event center operator in Lagos, David Juku, said that the cost of diesel alone has increased by over 100%, forcing operators to adjust pricing. This, he said, is in addition to other costs of providing efficient services for clients, which have also doubled. He added that to sustain the business, operators have had to increase the cost of renting event spaces. He noted that the increase may not be significant for operators, given that many facilities rely on central air conditioning systems, which consume large amounts of electricity and diesel. Juku said that operators now focus on ensuring the clients have sustainable venues for weddings and other celebrations by offering a variety of options. On power supply, he noted that some operators are investing heavily in solar energy. Although still expensive, he said it helps to supplement the national grid to ensure uninterrupted service delivery, noting that no client wants an event disrupted by erratic power supply. Juko also appealed to the government to support operators with special funding schemes to help expand their businesses and enhance the sector's contribution to the national economy.
Across Africa, belief has always been more than personal. It has shaped communities, authorities, and everyday life. But when belief systems compete, the stakes become much higher. In many parts of Africa, religion became a defining force, influencing leadership, law, and identity. Islam continued to expand, interacting with existing tradition and systems. But this expansion was not always smooth. Different interpretations, practices, and beliefs often coexisted, sometimes in harmony and sometimes in tension. Faith was not just about worship, it became a question of authority and direction. Religious institutions played key roles in education, governance, and social organization. They shaped how communities functioned and how leadership were legitimized. But managing diversity required balance. Where balance was maintained, stability followed. Where it broke down, conflict could emerge. This era highlights a critical reality. Belief systems can unify societies, but they can also divide them. Today, Africa remains deeply diverse, religiously, culturally, and socially. Managing that diversity is central to governance and development, because the issue is not faith, but how it is lived, shared, and governed.
My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijoma Pelokoro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian Omosunde Lawson.
It's Ife Yunwarita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Lola Dare. I'm inviting you to keep watching SOUQ News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like SOUQ News. SOUQ News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to SOUQ News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news first time.
Find SOUQ News. Be with SOUQ News. Never switch off. You are better for it. SOUQ News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for SOUQ News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Please, guys, keep watching
SOUQ News.
Africa is on the rise, and at the forefront of its growth is a sector as old as civilization itself: agriculture. Once marked by subsistence farming and challenges with food security, agriculture in Africa is now experiencing a powerful transformation. From the fertile lands of Nigeria to the tea fields of Kenya, agriculture is driving economic growth and lifting millions out of poverty. African governments and internal investors are taking notice, pouring in resources to support smallholder farmers and expand sustainable farming practices. Digital innovation is playing a major role in this transformation. Mobile apps provide farmers with crucial information on weather, market prices, and crop management. These digital tools are empowering farmers to make informed decisions, increase their yield, and get fair prices for their produce. Now I know when it rains, I can plan my planting better, and I know where to sell my crops for a good price. It's really changing our lives. We are committed to investing in agriculture as a pillar of our economy. Our goal is to make farming not only viable but a source of wealth and stability for our people. African countries are also scaling up for exports, especially in high-demand crops like coffee, cocoa, and cashew. By focusing on quality, Africa is capturing a larger share of global markets. But the transformation goes beyond exports. Across Africa, new farming techniques and policies are helping to meet domestic demand and reduce reliance on food imports, contributing to food security across the continent. Women are also a key part of Africa's agricultural revolution. They make up a significant portion of the agricultural workforce, and initiatives are empowering women farmers with resources and training to enhance productivity. From subsistence to sustainability, the future of agriculture in Africa is bright. With innovation, investment, and resilient communities, Africa is sowing the seeds of prosperity.
Dr. SOUQ A. Adedeji, whose leadership has significantly transformed Nigeria's tax administration, is a distinguished first-class graduate in accounting from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and he currently serves as the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS.
I firmly believe in the wisdom encapsulated in his statements. Revenue growth is the lifeblood of the nation's economy, providing means to fulfill essential duties to its citizens. These words capture the core principle that will guide us as we navigate the challenging terrain ahead, ensuring that our nation thrives and fulfills its obligation to its citizens. In our pursuit of greater fiscal future, we are determined to align ourselves with President Bola Tinubu's Extreme Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee. This collaboration will enable us to shape the prosperous fiscal landscape that will empower our nation's growth and development.
Born on January 8, 1978 in Ogbomoso, Oyo State, Nigeria, Dr. Adedeji is an accomplished accountant and public officer with extensive expertise in corporate taxation and public finance. His journey in public service began in 2011 when he was appointed as Commissioner for Finance in Oyo State. In that capacity, Adedeji introduced transformative financial reforms, most notably the establishment of the Treasury Single Account (TSA) to streamline government revenues and expenditures. In March 2021, President Muhammadu Buhari appointed Adedeji as Executive Secretary of the National Sugar Development Council (NSCDC). In this capacity, he founded the Nigeria Sugar Institute and spearheaded the Sugar Backward Integration Program, which sought to enhance local sugar production and reduce reliance on foreign imports. In June 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appointed Adedeji as Special Advisor on Revenue, and by September of that same year, he had ascended to the position of Executive Chairman of FIRS, Nigeria's leading tax authority responsible for the assessment, collection, and management of federal taxes.
The focus will be on these indirect taxes, so that as long as you consume, you have to pay. As long as you have interest on your investment, you have to pay. And this is echoing Mr. President's message that we are not going to tax the seed, but we are going to tax the fruit. The fruit is what we focus on. So all those things, when we have this holistic process, it will be captured, and that the vision is to have a progressive tax, that if you earn more, you pay more, and if you earn less, you will not pay.
Under his leadership, FIRS exceeded its 2023 revenue target of 11.55 trillion naira. As chairman of FIRS, Dr. Adedeji implemented a performance-based system aligning with the service's new slogan, simplifying tax, maximizing revenue.
Dr. Zaka Dedeji has done incredibly well in transforming and reforming the tax processes and procedures in Nigeria. In a little over a year being at the helms of the affairs of the tax body in Nigeria, we have seen a significant improvement in revenue generation. His policy of not crumbling business with taxation is something that also needs to be applauded. Zaka Dedeji philosophy is taxing fruits and not the seed, and taxing prosperity, not poverty. Because if you look at the fiscal landscape of Nigeria in the past 10 years, you find that businesses have struggled to live, and that has led to the exit of so many businesses from Nigeria. But with this new reform, we're saying that the businesses will profit from the reform processes, and that will mean more business for Nigeria. We will have a lot of foreign inflow in terms of foreign direct investment that will actually drive the process of economic growth for the country. And I think he has done so well, and he deserves a kudos, especially for taking the giant stride to restructure FRS for efficiency, for accountability, and for value for money.
He has also made the welfare of the staff a top priority, fostering a positive working environment that has brought smiles to the faces of FIRS employees nationwide. Supporters of the tax reform bills highlight several key benefits, harping on the need for streamlined tax processes that could reduce bureaucratic hurdles and foster an environment where businesses can thrive.
He has initiated a lot of reform which dovetail into the tax reform bills that is before the National Assembly. This initiative is to improve on the tax administration system in Nigeria with a view to improving on the collection systems that will be beneficial to every member of the Nigerian state. SOUQ, as is well known, has improved on simplifying tax reform even within the federal land revenue, which in no means has improved on tax administration, and he celebrated essentially for the core initiative of the tax reform.
Under Dr. Adedeji's leadership, Nigeria's tax system has gone beyond mere policy adjustments. Its focus is on fostering sustainable growth and ensuring that the benefits of tax reforms reach both businesses and citizens.
So those that are attaching the bill, one, they are doing that in view of the formula they discovered, which may not be, will not augur well for them on the VAT allocation, and then secondly, they may be having the feeling that this law was just designed to favor Lagos State in the course of its own effort to become a state that has special status. Okay, it says so that will make it to be seen as if it is a country of its own, even though it's not up to the level of country, but it is higher than all other states in the country. Probably this may be the reason why they are agitating. The one that you can see clearly is on this issue of VAT. And then they have other suspicion. So that is another worry that I have. The issue of trust. Trust, what do some experts call trust deficit. Yes, will be promoted greatly by this if corrective measures are not taken. Derivation has not been defined. But then people have to go by what is happening now. As they go against it. Since now derivation is about contribution of state that are producing these goods and services being consumed. So they have the right to just say that, oh, so now instead of 20%, it will now be 60%. And then you hear the government functionaries including members of the committee, saying that no, that's not what they mean. They mean area of consumption. This 60% graduation is about consumption area, not location of the headquarters of company that produce the good or service. You should have defined that in the law.
Contributing to long-term national development, Dr. SOUQ A. Adedeji's career is a testament of his unwavering commitment to improving Nigeria's financial systems and enhancing revenue generation, showcasing his exceptional expertise in corporate and public finance.
The Nigerian civil service, which is the hub of internal administration in government, is faced with an existential crisis in many fronts. Essentially, there's a problem of trust and confidence, as well as bureaucratic bottlenecks that lead to inefficiency, ineptitude, and redundancy. Many Nigerians now perceive the Nigerian civil service as a relic of the growing, outdated, Weberian bureaucratic model of public administration. The Federal Civil Service Commission, FCSC, has been alleged to have compromised the philosophical construct of the first principle of its founding in 1855 in the way it goes about its work. It is sometimes inaccessible and insensitive to the needs of the people or the public. It has been alleged that it has compromised merit, not just on the altar of federal character, but in federal character diversity management practice. It is surprising that it has surrendered its constitutional independence helplessly to the whims and caprices of its political lords and masters, likely because, as professionals, it has lost the capacity to speak truth to power, as it was in Nigeria in the 1960s through to the mid-70s. It is saddening that it has emasculated merit and replaced it with political patronage and unreflective nepotism. The dynamic that this created has certainly destroyed the gatekeeping essence of the Commission's constitutional mandate as the protector and defender of the merit system, and therefore as an institutional bulwark and guarantor of professionalism in policy and development management in Nigeria. It has also almost destroyed competency-based human resource management as an enabler of policy intelligence of a capable developmental state. Even the British, who transplanted the Service Commission concept along with many other countries in the Commonwealth of Nations, have brought creativity and innovations to bear in their public service people management practices, in how they have gone in rethinking their service commissions. The global community of practice and service have created such a large portfolio of smart, good, and best practices that we in Nigeria, as latecomers, have no excuse to be so far left behind in being so uninnovative. In consonance with the renewed hope agenda of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a radical reform of the Nigerian civil service is desired by practitioners, professionals, and members of the public. The recent Oransaye report suggesting the merger and reorganization of the ministries, departments, and parastatals of government should be implemented to the letter so that there will be square pegs in square holes. The congestion in most government institutions where idleness and redundancy prevail should stop, as this leads to inefficiency, ineffectiveness, and ultimately corruption. SOUQ today calls on the federal government to immediately set in motion the critical machinery to overhaul and revamp the country's civil service. I am Bayo Olaoye.
One thing that worth being treasured and celebrated is having a family of intellect, especially a father full of wisdom to lead aright. On Saturday, April 20th, a heartwarming ceremony unfolded at Brookstone School Hall in Owode-Onirin, Ikorodu, Lagos, as the UK-based Nigerian Pa Michael Onafuye launched 3 inspirational books. The event not only marked the culmination of Pa Onafuye's literary endeavors but also served as a testament to his zeal for intellectual exploits, spiritual gifts, and guidance, as well as laid down legacies for his family. The books titled War Against Limitation, Maximizing Divine Mandates of God on Your Life, and God's Word of Assurance is Your Sure Word of Insurance brought together family, friends, and religious leaders from within and outside the community.
In the midst of men, delivered me.
During the event, Dr. Ayo Onofuye, doctor of the celebrant, read an excerpt from one of the books highlighting the importance of maintaining faith during difficult times. His son, Dr. Tosin Onofuye, also delivered a keynote address pointing to his father's wisdom and spiritual leadership.
He is one that seeks to redeem the value of humanity through service and the production of service. Too often we hear preachers saying that we are here to serve humanity, but you look at their portfolio and it doesn't match up. But my father is one where his sermon is embedded in his daily practice. And Dad, I don't just say that because we are in front of people. Like I said, the MC has given a brief background about myself. I'm university this, university that, but that is not possible without you. My dad has emphasized the importance of education. He's not a shepherd that declines or puts to sleep the importance of reading. He is one that even though he's not at a PhD level, when he speaks, the wisdom that comes from his well of understanding is above the certificate. Because the certificate, to an extent, will fetch you money, but the wisdom my dad will give you will help you navigate life.
My father, a devoted shepherd of our great parish, CCC, White City Parish in the UK, has dedicated his life to serving not only his congregation, but humanity as a whole. Through his unwavering faith and timeless efforts, he has used his spiritual intellect and charitable practices to touch countless lives, offering guidance, comfort, and hope to those in need all around the world. His commitment to spreading the message of love, compassion, and forgiveness has inspired me and my many siblings. So every section in this, every beginning of each section offers you a Bible passage to tailor your prayer points to. So the passage from the prayer of praise is from Psalm 107, verse 8, and it says, "Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men." So to start off, in my book, Living Above Limitations, I emphasize that choosing to rise above traumatic experiences and embracing the joy of praise is key to embodying the ideal spiritual life for genuine believers.
The ceremony also marked the launch of the first book by the author's youngest son, Temi Onofuye. Temi expressed gratitude to his family for their unwavering support throughout the writing process.
When I started writing, I never knew I would come this far. I mostly thank my dad for encouraging me to start writing in the first place. And I also thank my mother and my siblings